Hello, tree service providers, arborists, and friends of arborists. I'm Justin Rademacher for Arborist Marketing Pros, and in this video today, we're going to talk about how to increase your online visibility and ultimately get more customers coming to your door, raising their hand, and ultimately get more leads and more jobs booked. Today, really quickly, I want to talk about the Google search engine results page. And we get questions about like SEO and should I really invest this money into SEO? Should I invest money into Google ads? What's this Google guaranteed local service ads thing about? So I'm hoping to answer some of those questions today in a pretty straightforward manner that's going to be easy to understand. That's the goal. Also, our goal as always is just to help the community and help everybody be a little bit more thoughtful with their marketing strategy to make sure that we're not wasting money on advertising. So, with all that said, let's jump right in and I'm going to share my screen and we'll look at some examples here. Now, I am going to blur out. Obviously, we are a marketing agency that works with tree companies, so I'm going to blur out some of the sensitive data, but bear with me here. Share my screen. And the first thing I want to start out talking about is the Google search engine results page. So what I've done here on Google, and we've got this handy, neat little graphic because we're approaching Halloween here. Now I typed in the search bar tree service near me. So we're going to talk about these results. The very first thing that I'm going to see are going to be the Google local service ads. And we know this because they say that they're sponsored, right? We can see this sponsored. These are companies that have gone through Google's verification process. They have submitted their business licensing, insurance documentation, as well as passed a background check for the ownership to make sure that they are a qualified tree company that can serve their customers. Additionally, they are paying every time somebody calls or messages their business. So this is the very first thing that's going to come up on the Google search engine results page if you search for a tree service near me. Below that, I'm going to have some sponsored ads. We call these Google search ads. So they are a little bit more complex to set up. They're a little bit different with how they cost, right? Well, I should say they're a little bit different with how you pay for them. So with these ads up here, you're essentially paying for leads. You're paying for customer interactions. With these ads, you're paying per click. So every time somebody clicks on one of these ads, you're charged a couple few dollars, depending on what the bid is for the keyword that you're searching for. And your goal then is to drive them to a landing page on your website that is optimized to convert them. When I say convert, I mean get them to call you or get them to fill out a lead form, a submission form, or request a quote on your website. So it becomes really important with the content that's on the page that you're directing those people to. We could talk about that in detail probably in another video, but just know the best practice is not going to be sending them right to your home page. You're going to want to send them to a specific page on your site. They're called squeeze pages, they're called landing pages, where the goal is to get the information from that customer and pass that conversion back to Google Ads. So everything that we've talked about so far are advertising that we're spending dollars on to get placement. Below that, we get into the SEO, right? The search engine optimization. Now, the beautiful part about SEO is while you might have some upfront costs with investing in making sure that your website's working properly, making sure that your business profile is optimized, putting systems and processes in place to get reviews because those are extremely important for local SEO. Um, you're not paying for anything when the customer interacts, clicks, visits your website, calls. That is essentially the benefit of being a prominent figure in the industry, right? So, what really goes into this? Now, I want to clarify that what we're talking about here is the local SEO, aka the Google Map Pack, aka the Google 3-pack, depending on which agency or marketing person you're talking to. But these are essentially your Google business profile. Now, there's a bunch of things that go into the rankings of your Google business profile, but in our experience, the most important one is your reputation. what are your customers saying about your business? Where are your customers located? Where is your business located? Now you'll notice that obviously I'm here in Florida, and all of these businesses are going to be local to me. Now, why are these the three businesses that Google has determined to show to me? Nobody exactly knows the answer to that unless you work in Google's development department, but we have some ideas and we have some strategies and we have some things that we've seen some success with over the years. And I will tell you that first and foremost, making sure that A, your Google reviews are plentiful and good quality, because you can have a million reviews, but if they're 3 stars, you're not going to be showing at the top of the list. So you have to have good quality reviews, a good amount of reviews, and then your business profile itself needs to be optimized for what you're trying to show. So, for example, for the keyword, so we typed in tree service near me. If I would have looked for a tree removal near me, which is obviously a high dollar job in most circumstances, I would want to make sure that that phrase is included on my Google business profile. Likewise, I also want to make sure that I have a good quality website that is linked to my Google business profile that also speaks to where I do my work, who I am, and what services my business provides. So, website SEO is a whole nother topic for another day. Now, below that, you have standard search engine optimization. And these are going to be things like how many links are coming back to your site. This is all based around your website and how it compares nationally, not necessarily by region or locally, right? So um, it it is very important to focus on your website's ability to have organic SEO, because this actually impacts your rankings up here in the map pack. So you need a good quality website. You want to be focused on your organic SEO, but just know that there's a bit of a different strategy when it comes to your local SEO. And this is really around optimizing your business profile and making sure that your website really communicates where exactly you're doing your work at. So, with all that said, I thought it might be beneficial if we jump back into, since at the top of the page is where I really want to be, let's take a look at the verification portal for Google and what's all involved with that. So when you first open up a Google Local Services account, you're going to need to submit some billing information, your proof of insurance, submit your background check, complete your business profile, and that's basically your ad, right? Because if I look at the very first thing that customers are going to see, they're going to see the picture, right? They're going to see what you do, where you serve, how long you've been in business, what your hours are, phone numbers, and any key components. If I were to click on this, I'll actually see a little bit more information. So you're going to want to make sure that you have some good quality pictures. I always recommend showing off your expensive equipment, especially if it's in good shape, showing off your crew, making sure that you are showing yourself as the professional expert in your field. Now, you'll also want to make sure that all of your services are accurate. So, for example, if you don't do stump removal, let's say that you source that out when it's necessary, I wouldn't recommend paying for leads for a job that you're not going, it's going to be difficult for you to even break even on, much less be profitable. So, be mindful of the services that you're actually offering and what you program into your Google business profile, or your local services account, I should say. Your reviews, they're all going to show as well. So keep in mind, it's going to be very, very important for you to have a good number of reviews and, again, a good quality of review. Now, when I'm back in the business portal, let's go ahead and pop over to the profile and the budget. What you'll want to do is you will want to obviously set your location. You'll want to set your budget. Now, budget is completely up to you. That's a strategy conversation. We generally like to start a little light. Now, our area, our market may be different from where you're at, but we generally see somewhere around 300 to, I would generally start between 200 and $300 a week and see what you're getting off of that. If it's not enough, you can dial it up. If it's too much, you can dial it back. One thing that we've noticed in our time working with local service ads is you don't want to constantly be adjusting your budget. We've had clients that have done that, and it's had a negative impact on their results with Google. Now, I could theorize with why I think that is because Google wants a reliable source of income, but I have no ties to Google to back up that claim. So I would just recommend slowly, gradually, and consistently adjust your budget as opposed to turning it off, turning it on, turning it off, turning it on, changing your service areas and things of that nature. Speaking of service areas, that's another thing that's going to be very important for your business profile. You can set the cities, counties, states that you want to operate in, and target only people that are in those specific cities. Now, it's not always 100% accurate. You may have somebody that Google thinks is in a city and they might be right outside the limit, so keep that in mind. And then you also don't want to focus so small that you're not showing your ad to anybody because there's only so many people out there that are searching for your services. So the wider the net, generally the better, but keep in mind that you want to make sure that you're still going to be able to provide quality services to that individual. So if you get a lead coming in from an area that's just too far to make sense, that could potentially be a negative experience. A, you paid for that lead, and B, you're risking getting a negative Google review, which we never ever want. Your business hours, those can all be set in here as well. This is essentially showing to your customer, but it also is going to impact when your ad is shown. So if somebody's looking for your services, there is a way in here to program, hey, I'm only open from 9 to 5, but I want to show my ad 24 hours a day. They have recently added that functionality. We generally, because we work in Florida and we're always looking for making sure that our clients are available for emergency tree services, we generally leave this open as 24 hours. So that's in a nutshell, without going into too much detail, how you would set up a Google Local Services ad. Now, keep in mind that the background check can take some time. It's not an overnight thing. And depending on your specific situation, you may not qualify. And that could be a reality. So what do you do? Do you throw your hands up and say, I'm only going to work on word of mouth? No, you can switch and pivot over to Google search ads. So these are the search ads. They're the second thing that still will get some traction, and it's just a little bit trickier to manage, but you can absolutely optimize a search campaign and be successful. We have clients that do very well with their search ads. So Google search ads, I'm not going to, I could do a 2 hour video on the Google Ads platform. That's not my goal today. Stay tuned. We probably will be releasing some of those. But just think about it in this fashion is when I set up a search ad, basically what I'm doing with Google is I'm telling them these are the keywords that I want to spend money on. If somebody types in tree removal and they're in Volusia County, Florida, or Daytona Beach, Florida, or insert your city and working areas here, right? I want to show my ad and I'm willing to spend X amount of dollars per day. And that essentially gets put into a bidding war. There's a bidding war going in the back end of Google for the words tree removal because there's other companies, your competitors, that are also wanting to bid. The more budget that you have, the more your chances are of showing up at the tip top for somebody that's searching for that phrase. One of the things that how can I say this? The thing to keep in mind is that this is not a set it and forget it platform because there's 3 different match types for keywords. Let me pull up a keyword list and show you exactly what I'm talking about. So these are keywords that we're running for one of our clients. There's 3 different match types of keywords. There's broad match, there's phrase match, and there's exact match. If you run a broad match keyword for the words tree service, that means if somebody's searching for tree company, arborist, a tree trimming provider near me, that would still match to the broad match term of tree service because Google is smart enough to realize the intent of what that person is searching for. Phrase match is a little bit tighter, right? It's saying that if I put in tree service provider, I shouldn't get things like arborist or best chainsaws for arborists. That's completely off topic. It's not relevant, right? Exact match is supposed to mean they exactly search for this phrase. Google has loosened that up a little bit, but that's probably a conversation for another day. So basically, you've got three different match types. A very simple, you could start a very simple Google ad campaign and come in here and say tree company and do broad match and let it run, and you would get some impressions, you might get some clicks. The art of Google Ads, though, is understanding that when I put in tree service near me, Google is going to try to match that with a bunch of different variations. And what we've seen is sometimes they're just completely outlandish and have absolutely nothing to do with generating revenue for our clients. There's another notion of something that's called negative keywords. So what you would want to do is look at your search terms report, and it will show you, hey, this person searched for, arborist who wears a yellow hat, and that might be some fictional character that's not related at all to somebody generating business. And if we paid for that, we want to make sure that that never happens again. So we would take that term and we would move it into a negative keyword, right? So it's very, I wouldn't say it's very easy because it is time consuming, and this is, marketing. It's part of, part of what goes into running a successful campaign. So what you would want to do is to look at your search terms report, and I'll look at search terms, and we can see here that these are the terms that actually were searched, not the keywords that I programmed, but these are what people actually searched that we showed our ad to. And it gives you a breakdown of how many clicks and impressions and what your cost was. So what we do and what you would generally want to do is be regularly monitoring this and look at how much did I spend on the words tree worksheet. If that doesn't fit your business model, you can just very simply check this and add it as a negative keyword. And regardless of any other keywords that you have in your account, if somebody types in tree work cheap, you won't come up. And so that's how you fine tune and sort of polish a Google Ads campaign. And this has to be done on a regular, recurring basis if you want to be successful. Now, uh, like I said, I'm not going to get into the weeds of campaigns and ads and creating ad assets. There's tons of content on YouTube. I encourage you to look it up. At some point, we probably will create more content that's around the best practices that we've identified for tree service providers. But um, just know that with Google Ads, right, going back to what the customer sees, with these search terms, you're going to be paying for the keyword that gets searched, the location, and how many times it's clicked on. It's up to you to convert those clicks into leads, right? So that's essentially how you can get started with your digital advertising without getting too focused on any one particular topic. Again, our goal is to make sure that we're educating the community and providing as much value to tree service professionals and business owners to help them grow and expand and scale. So if you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to Arborist Marketing Pros. Again, I'm Justin Rademacher, and thanks for spending some time with me today.